All right. Good morning. I think it's going to be a quiet Friday just from the crew that's rolling in. I can hear better with these actually. Not too bad. I can actually hear myself. And let's see who's here. Coffee crew getting back into the groove of live streams finally, which is nice. And we'll see who's here. For those that aren't subscribed, if you're subscribed, you can chat away, ask questions about your TFSA, investing, all that good stuff, and we go live, getting back into the groove, Monday to Friday, 8 o'clock. But we'll go on for a bit this morning, always good. And for people that are watching on the replay, always appreciate it. I know a lot of people are watching on the replay because they don't always catch the live. It's always not always the most convenient time for everybody. Every view is appreciated. Always good. And here we go. MC, first one in today. Awesome. It's like 2 days in a row. It might be our show until people have to get to know that I'm back and getting active again. Although I do have. Scott and MC, we can talk about the Apple Vision Pro more maybe today, if it's fine. If no one else has other questions. I think it's the time of year where people start to go on vacation and stuff like that. I know a lot of people at work are on vacation. It's summer, so I do expect it to be obviously a little bit quieter out there. Market is doing okay as well, so maybe people are looking at their portfolios instead of on YouTube. But that's all good. It's all kind of good. Just kind of everything's kind of coming together. Happy with the portfolio. We talked about it a little bit yesterday. Obviously sold Tesla up again today, but I mean, I'm happy to take the money and run. I got to get better at that, so I did that, and no other deposits until Monday. Carry on the dollar cost averaging, and I just carry on with the portfolio as we go. So MC, hopefully you're well. If anybody else, as they tune in and watch, don't be afraid to say hi. If you have questions about anything about investing, if I can't answer them, guaranteed MC will be able to answer them, put them on the right direction. If you've bought anything or sold anything this week, it's always interesting to hear what people have done this week. I'm always lurking over on Blossom. I don't post really that much on Blossom, but I'm definitely a lurker over there, and I've noticed a few people are taking ones I follow anyways, taking some profits off of different positions, which is great. It's great to hear, and seeing some of the people that had some of the Nvidia taking their Nvidia profits. It's like, holy cow, good for you. So it's always nice to see when people are able to make money, which is good. So take the money and run. Nothing wrong with that. And Frosty Fire 22, good to have you here. The duck icon. I love it. Hopefully you're well. Let us know how your week's gone. And yeah, always good. So speaking of Vision Pro, yeah, you know what? I have to watch. I watched that Black Mirror. Oh, geez. The kind of the first or second season. I kind of got into it, but then kind of didn't get into it. There's so many shows to watch. I'll have to check it out. That's what everybody's kind of comparing it to. There must have been an episode or something like that. Okay, there we go. So it does have the promo footage has some foreshadowing vibes. Yeah, really, yeah, interesting. I don't know. It's an interesting product, and what I find really interesting. I mean, I could see myself getting. This is the thing. I could see myself getting one. I talked about it yesterday. Definitely, because I'm a nerd. I'm a techie like that. I don't see myself spending $3,500 on it, although I guess you could save up until it's going to get released. But there's always going to be a cheaper one, right? And a better one. The thing could change by the time it comes out. You know, they've probably got the next 3 versions already prepared. But I've been watching more videos and stuff on it, and just how they're positioning it. I find is really interesting. Like if you actually I watched their. This is now old news almost, but I watched the keynote where they released it all and talked about it and everything else. But I did find it really interesting. Like they didn't mention virtual reality. They call it something else. They didn't mention augmented reality. They call it something else. And they never mentioned once in their keynote AI. They use other terms, and it's interesting how Apple does that, right? They're not jumping on that. Like MC, you're talking about like bad foreshadowing vibes with AI and some of the negative connotations of it, and they don't use those words to describe their products. So they kind of create their own their own ecosystem with things on there. They're using AI, they're using virtual reality, they're using augmented reality, but they call it something different. So if there's any negative feelings about it anywhere, it doesn't translate into the Apple products. So smart marketing on their pass. I think it'll probably be popular. Probably should be maybe adding more Apple, maybe just individual Apple stocks. I don't know. Who knows? And Ken, it's good to have you here. Yeah, you caught the replay yesterday. I've started posting as I'm able to do these lives early. Like obviously, Candace didn't get the posting up ahead of time because sometimes work gets in the way. It's still been busy with work, so I don't want to post something and then not be able to jump on. So it's kind of like get the last minute scheduling put up. So and got a channel member video. I'll keep an eye out for that. Hopefully that comes out on the weekend. I watched Candace. Obviously, if people don't know, Candace has her channel. She's doing really awesome. It's really good. Over 2,000 subscribers, which is amazing. That's always good. It starts the YouTube does its thing, and it really starts to snowball as you get active and keep creating content. It does its thing and just grows and grows and grows as long as you keep at it. It's always hard sometimes to keep. Right, life gets in the way. Look at my channel. I mean, there's other things, right? If you're not a full-time, I'm not a full-time YouTuber by any means, and sometimes regular life gets in the way. It just impacts, But as you start to get up there, it's awesome, starting to grow, which is good. And I saw that. If people haven't seen it yet and are watching, go check out Candace's. Her Hot Wings 2,000 subscriber special, which was really funny. I'm a hot sauce person, but I don't think I would probably, I would be sweating profusely, and it'd be hard to get through that last. Those last few looked pretty painful. So reaction video, yeah, that'll be good. I'll be looking forward to seeing that. I'll watch that. Always fun to see those the channel member stuff. On a note for my channel members, I haven't posted on the community yet, but you're gonna you had all those dividends, you had all the stuff I sold yesterday, so that's all on the tab. And then there was a dividend today. This is a small one from Slate Office REIT, so I'll get that up. It's almost kind of like it was only a dollar something, I think. So nothing super to write home about, but it's always nice to see those come in as well, to carry through and carry forward with the portfolio. Yeah, always products always promote inspirational benefits features. Wasn't the internet supposed to be free us from work, and we were all supposed to be on the beach now because it made work so fast? It's true, right? It's like email was supposed to make things easier, and then it makes that's all we do all day. It seems, at least for me, it's like I'm in front of my computer all day, and it's like emails, and it doesn't make it necessarily easier. Yeah, I don't know it, and then what's happened now with meetings and stuff like that. We're used to schedule meetings. Used to go to the office to have these, weekly meetings, monthly meetings, or whatever. And now we're doing those. We're still, lots of Zoom meetings. Obviously, from the last few years, everybody knows what a Zoom meeting is all of a sudden, and those meetings are like. A lot of those meetings now turn into like what could have just been an email, and it ends up being an hour, half an hour meeting, just for a Zoom that could have actually been an email. But it's interesting times. It seems like it bogs us down even more. Although technology MC for my work there's been some good ones in terms of systems and client portals and all that kind of stuff that actually makes my life easier in terms of getting certain things from people. And cuts down on emails actually, which is nice. So that's always good. So that's kind of saved a little bit, and for organization, so some tech has actually helped for me, anyways, slowly but surely. And yeah, it's probably right. I think the goal, it's probably when you're in the 80s. I don't know. I'm gonna date myself, but growing up in the 80s, I mean, we had internet, obviously, in the 90s, but before that, like no cell phones, no internet. If you wanted to get a hold of someone, you had to try and call them at home. It was actually great if you look back to it, because you're the stupid thing with a phone all the time. you're connected all the time. It's funny you say that, like the golden era. I think I mentioned it one time on my live stream before, MC. I don't know if you're here, but there was one time when I went on vacation and I was going away for a week, and on the flight down to Mexico, I had my jacket, because you leave, it's cold in Canada, and then I had my jacket on, and I put my phone in. This is before they even had internet and stuff on planes, so you can't use your phone on the plane, right? Nothing to do. Had it in my pocket, my jacket, and when I got off the plane, I left it in the overhead bin and didn't realize it. It was just like a light jacket, and then I get to the hotel, checked in, everything else, and it's like, where's my phone? And it left in the plane. So I had no phone for an entire week. It was the best vacation it's one of the best vacations, because I didn't have to worry. You get over that initial stress of about half an hour going like, okay, well, my phone's not here. I checked and then actually showed up on it was an iPhone at the time, and it was like find my phone, and it showed up back at the airport, so I knew it was somewhere in the plane, and so it was fine. And I ended up getting it back on the way home. They gave it to me at the airport when I was getting off the plane back home, which was awesome. So that was always good, but had no phone, and it was a really nice vacation. Yeah, you're working longer. Yeah, I've gotten a lot better at that. Partly because I think I'm working from home more, so you do have to set up some boundaries, right? And in terms of shutting off, because you can literally work 24 hours if you keep checking stuff. So a lot of times I don't look at my work email typically after 5 o'clock. I'm pretty consistent with that, unless there's something that I'm maybe expecting that I need to take care of, that's pressing, then I'll maybe check it. But a lot of times I just kind of, if something comes through that I notice to check my email, instead of replying, I just tag it, star it, and I'll work on it tomorrow, the next day, and it does that way. Because what I find too is, if you're literally working 24 hours, and if you're working 24 hours and you're getting things after hours, and you're replying and replying to people after hours like that, it trains them to know, like, oh, they're working, they're doing it, they're going to reply to me. So you start getting these random late, because people all of a sudden expect it, especially as well. Got trained. I don't use texting, like text messages for people, because they obviously then they expect a response right away, that kind of stuff. So if a text comes through, like for me, if a text comes through, I'll reply to them in an email and say, please don't text me. Its best way is email. And it seems to work. It eventually gets people trained. So, and that's exactly what happened. Yeah, you knew to come home when the lights came on, and they'd just be yelling. All the mums would be out opening the door, yelling for you to come home or come back for dinner. And it seemed to work. We survived. We survived. And then for the odd time, you'd come in the summertime. In the summers, you'd always come in late, not realizing, like, it was like, because it doesn't get dark till 9:30, 10 o'clock, when it's really, really the longest days. And mom would be fuming because it was almost 10 by the time you'd come home. But yeah, your mom would start yelling, and then you'd be like, yeah, I have to go home first. Yeah. Oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, back in the 80s resonates. People with all ages, no text. Yeah, it's true. It's true. That was a good series. I've canceled my Netflix, so I will reinstate it once that one comes out. Once that season comes out, I'll reinstate it, and I'll also reinstate it when the new Formula One series comes out. But yeah, no tech. There was another movie I watched on Prime. Was some of these? It seems like it's maybe the time that people are they're doing a lot of these movies in the 80s and stuff like that. But that the Air Jordan movie was good, on Amazon on Prime. That was a good movie. Kind of takes place again in the 80s, so has all those kind of things that resonate to us for things. And there was another show that I watched that was in the 80s, but I can't remember what one it was now. The golden area. We had no. So it was actually surprised we survived. We had no. You'd be in the back of the car driving. Your mom would be driving, or dad would be driving, and you'd have you'd be sharing seatbelts or not have a seatbelt because there was none left. And like, riding your bike, you would never, I mean, I didn't have a helmet until I was a teenager, stuff like that. So, yeah. Yeah, it's interesting how they do it because there is some movies MC where they like the whole texting thing and or social media thing is actually part of the part of the plot and movie, which is different, right? Just different times on that. Yeah, but no, yeah, set in times, no cell phone. That's true. It's true. Oh, there's a BlackBerry movie. I did not know that. Oh, that makes me think. The movie that I was watching about, and it was embellished. It was good, but it was the Tetris. The Tetris movie was decent as well. That was kind of a fun one to watch. Once you kind of got into it, the same kind of thing. So back in the 80s, the BlackBerry movie would be interesting. Blackberries were everywhere. That's for sure. I had a BlackBerry. Everybody had a BlackBerry. I used to work with someone. I think he still has a I think Black. I don't know if they still have models, but I think he, he was BlackBerry, so such like firm BlackBerry person that he had it. He had one for ages and ages and ages, and everybody used to give him the gears because he was the only person that I knew. Everybody knew that still had a BlackBerry to work on that. But no, I had one too. They were, you know what, the thing with the Blackberries is they were good because I mean this is back before there was a lot of data and stuff like that, right? Available because they all they did was messaging like that. So it was not as distracting as some of the phones, like I've got I turn off all the notifications. Like I don't get notified if I get a text message. I have to go and actually look. I don't get notified of emails. I've turned off all the stuff. It only rings. I'll hear the ringer, but the rest of the stuff is all turned off. Even email, like I don't have it pop up with emails. 'Cause you just get bombarded, and it just goes crazy. So, oh yeah, you do that. Yeah, yeah. You don't get the roaming does force you to slow down. And you connect up at nighttime if you're back in the room, or a lot of resorts and stuff have Wi-Fi everywhere, so you don't actually really need the data, unless you're in a pinch somewhere, to do that. It's yeah, and it costs extra money too. It just really depends what you need to do. Depending, I've been down in the States before and done in for holidays, and I've done roam. It just depends if you have to work. I've gone and used to sometimes go away when I had to work. So you actually kind of did work a little bit and would get roaming, but it's nice to actually go on vacation now and do that one. Yeah, you do BBM. You'd have your BBM manager, and everybody would have those, and you could message. But they were, yeah, and well, they had the keyboard, right? So they were easier to text with because you remember having to text with just the, so dating ourselves, but text with just the numbers. Took forever. Yeah, no, no good. I'm not a big texter though, because the problem with me is I'll forget. Like if someone asks, if it's work related for something for me, if I get a text on something or a message, I will forget, and that's just me. But if I get an email from something, I won't forget. Uh, it's just the way it works because I have to work through the emails. You see them in front of you, what you have to do. Whereas text, you kind of get distracted in other things, and it doesn't always. It's not always the best way, at least for me. I know some people are huge texters, which work. So there we go. And that's it. Yeah, back to the so back to scheduling. We'll be back. I will get an update. Speaking of channels, I talked about it. It's I'll get the update to the portfolio done over the weekend. I'm overdue for that, which is nice. So it's oh yeah, yeah, BlackBerry is an investment. I was not really involved in like investing back then, but back then it would have been in mutual funds, that kind of stuff. But it yeah, it didn't do well. What they should have done earlier is they should have like maybe licensed a lot of the stuff earlier, or that kind of thing. They thought everybody wanted a keyboard and physical keyboard, that kind of stuff. It just, yeah, interesting, right? Just goes to show. And it's, yeah, block it out of your memory. Yeah, there's always one, right, that you wish you wish you never got, but it is, that's part of the risk. It could have just as easily gone the other way, right? But there's a bunch of those, so we'll see. Yeah, it's always hard. I guess BlackBerry's still around. I think so. I think so. You don't see anybody that has them. It's interesting when I see all the someone posted a poll in Blossom yesterday asking about like what phone you use, iPhone or Android, and it's like overwhelmingly iPhone. It's like I'm almost like I'm obviously the minority with an Android phone. I've just had it for so long, partly because I used Google at the time for Android. The Google apps worked a lot better than what they did on iPhone. Now I think they're pretty similar now. They finally built versions that work well for both. But at the time I had an iPhone, but I used like Google products for work and stuff. So it just didn't interface properly with the email app and for attachments and stuff like that on your phone. But my next phone, I don't know, Candace. So Candace never had a BlackBerry. I did have a BlackBerry, one of them. I forget what one it was. It was with Rogers at the time, Rogers. But I think my next phone will probably be an iPhone. Yeah, when the time comes. I just haven't. I don't need to upgrade my phone. I'm going to use this till I drop it and it doesn't work anymore. I don't use it enough to make it worthwhile to get the latest and greatest phone. So it is, yeah. I figured it was still around because I think they've started to license some of their stuff, right? Some of the technologies and stuff like that. Yeah, that's right. They did port the OS, so they had an Android, like it ran on there. That's right. Yeah, that's right. But I guess yeah, research in motion. I don't think they do. I don't think they even do handsets. That Apple kind of put a kibosh on all that. It's crazy how Apple literally steamrolled everything at the time for the and I remember I had the first iPhone. Maybe it wasn't the first one, but it was the one there was the one that was in Canada that got released, because I know it got released in the States, and I know people that were down in this, like would go down to the States to get one. My brother got one. He does work, and he was down in the States for work and picked one up at the time and had it in Canada. I was like, whoa, it's a new iPhone before everybody had one. But and that will probably be the same with the Vision Pro. I'm sure people will drive down to the States or fly down or whatever when they're there and try and pick up one of those before they're available in other countries. Guaranteed, people will do that. There's always the fans of. That's one thing that Apple's got. It's got the fans. Yeah, the first wasn't. That's right. It was whatever the next one came out, iPhone SE or whatever Plus or however they like to call it back in the time. I think I still have it somewhere in a box, actually. Not in the box, but in a box. 3G. That was what it was. 3G. Good memory. Good memory. I still have it. I still have it somewhere. I don't think it even charges or turns on. I could probably get huck it out, but they're in a box somewhere. But my next one probably will be an iPhone. The thing is with the phones and stuff. I mean, I don't use the camera on the phone because I have a regular camera, but it's so it's kind of like it's not much point to upgrade. At least for me. I guess I'm sounding old. I don't need the latest and greatest stuff. Yeah, and that's what my brother did. I think he was in Los Angeles for doing some work. So he was in the, and that's when they had a lot of, the Apple stores were down there as well. They weren't even in Canada at the time, and got the original from AT&T. You have your iPhone 3G in a box. Oh, there you go. I might even have I don't know if I saved the box. I think I got rid of the box. One box I wish I kept was I had the original iPod, and I still have it actually. And that was when you needed a Mac to even use an iPod, and I think it still works. I don't think I can charge it anymore because I don't have a FireWire port on any of my computers. But the box was quite this. This is when it was like a whole box that had like little like all these pictures of artists and stuff in it. It was a neat box. I should have kept it. I should have kept it wrapped in the box. I probably could have auctioned it off or something stupid. And I think it was expensive. Here we go talking about deflationary technology prices. Like the first iPod I think was close to I think it was $700 Canadian at the time when that came out. It was the original iPod with the physical wheel. Yep. Yep. And it was I think it was $700. It was pretty expensive. I should have bought Apple stock instead of the stock at the time, but yeah, the original had no USB and it didn't work with Windows at the time. It was only Apple. Yeah, interesting times. Yeah, it was. It was like a mini. It was literally a mini physical hard drive, like physical hard drive, 5 gigabytes, which is crazy. And because now there's like, you know, crazy amounts in these little tiny cards, right? It was like a physical, like a disk, and then like a disk drive. Essentially, it was like a laptop drive at the time, and it was thick. It was like about the size of a deck of cards on there. I don't. Do they even? I think they still make iPods. They must for that. But most people, it's all on the phone. It's crazy how it's just like everything's gone. You know, like your last comment there. DSLR camera. Now it's on a phone. I still like my DSLR. It takes me part of the reason for using just a camera is it takes the phone completely out of the equation. So I can turn my phone off and go take pictures, and I like that because you're not getting that distraction. Whereas if you have your phone, you're doing it, you're always maybe distracted to look at something else, check your portfolio or something silly, right? Check messages, that kind of stuff. So. But the original iPod was neat. Yeah, it was good. It was good. Held 1,000 songs in your pocket, and it cost a fortune. It cost a fortune. Definitely got cheaper. That's for sure. That's for sure. And went crazy. And then they had the App Store. So I think we're maybe all Apple fanboys a little bit here, and it's maybe should be buying Apple stock in anticipation of what happens with the Apple headset. We'll see. Time will tell. Time will tell what happens. We'll know more next year. Oh, so they still do the touch model, iPod Touch. Oh, okay, yeah, with the screen. So it's like an iPhone essentially, right? It's like an iPhone without the iPhone, essentially. Yeah, yeah. I should actually look. I think they kind of try and steer people into their phones, kind of thing. They might make one or two models of it, but it's they used to do. They did have the classic. Watch them. They'll probably bring out a classic again or something like that. Hard to know. They probably have. This is why they probably have a roadmap for the vision to be accessible to mass population. It is. Yeah, I think they do. I think they will. It will be. I think it's the kind of thing probably that people don't realize. It'll be the same. It'll probably be the same as with with the iPhone and with iPod. It's like things that you ultimately end up using that you never thought you needed to use, and there'll be some application that is used for it that people will want, and you'll need to have it. I mean, I would love to watch a movie on it, for sure. It's right up my alley because it's perfect. So they'll work in the store. They'll work in the they have their Apple streaming service, but you can also rent movies right on Apple. So if you rent a movie right on your headset and watch a movie, watch Netflix, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's perfect. Right up my alley. Yeah. It's just the big thing is right. It's just the scale. It needs accessibility and it'll be price. It'll come down in price, for sure. It'll come down. It'll always get less expensive, or our money gets worth less, so we have more, and the prices come down. Absolutely. It's like the same thing. TVs, right? TVs cost a fortune, and I think they're kind of pitching it a little bit like that too. For some, like in terms of like getting rid of the stereo, getting rid of a television, for cost wise. If you think about it, TVs used to be fortune. I remember the first TV that I bought was like probably a couple $1,000s for a flat screen, and it wasn't even that big. It was, and I mean, I remember when I ended up getting a new one, you couldn't even give it away, the old one. You had to literally put it on the side of the curb by the garbage, and someone would hopefully take it, because none of your friends, like no one wanted it, because everybody had their own and had a bigger TV at the time. So, and there was some big ones, yeah. There was some of those brands, yeah. And they've gotten cheaper, right? I mean, I don't know what a new TV costs. The one I have a TV, but I don't have cable or anything like that. But it was given to me because my mom wanted to get rid of it, and I just took it. So, yeah, interesting times. Interesting times. There we go. Well, we're coming up towards the end here. So if anybody else, it is the MC show today. So if anybody else that's watching has any questions, comments, fire it away. Say hi, Coffee Crew. I know it's getting back into the groove. People out of sight, out of mind. But if you have a question, say hi. See who's here. And it's always good. Carrying forward, like I said on the channel, it's always appreciated. Everybody that likes the video, subscribes. It's always nice. Yeah, that's the thing. The old TVs. My mom doesn't have. No, she's got a LCD screen now, but not the old CRTs. You remember those? I had the old CRT, like iMac at the time, and trying to get rid of those, you had to literally just put them to the curb, because no one wants them. No one wants them. It's the same with computers. A lot of times, once they get to be a few years old, it's like you can use them for so long now. At least, I mean, I found that with my iMacs, is by the time you upgrade it, no one wants the old one, because it's just not worth it, unfortunately. And they just you can send them to recycling, but that's the main thing. But it's just also too making sure everything is erased off them, right, with your information. That's the scary part. So like these old products kind of sit, like old computers and laptops and iPhones and stuff, sit in the cupboard, because you don't want to throw them out because they got your info on them. I was surprised you pulled the trigger on YTSL only a little, as it was serious profit. Oh, I've got my YTSL still. I sold my CDRs of Tesla. Yeah, I was up about 50%. So I know it's still going to do good, but I kind of wanted to take some money and run. So I'm keeping YTSL. Yeah. Yeah, I won't get rid of that one. I'll just let that one go. See what happens. Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, the colorful. Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, the clear they had all the colors at one point. Yeah. Yeah. You could turn it into people turn them into like fish tanks and stuff like that. Oh yeah, I remember those ones. Legally, I remember those. Yeah, those were the first like laptops that had Wi-Fi on them, I think, if I'm not mistaken. The clamshell. I'm pretty sure you could get Wi-Fi, if I'm not mistaken. Nice move. Yeah, I mean, I can always buy more. That's not, it's not the end of the world. But I figured, I'll let the yield shares ride, I guess. See what happens. And then I just took some money and ran with it. So yeah. And I think you sold some too. I think you only sold. I think Kenneth, if I saw your post on your community tab, I think you sold a portion to kind of bring it down to what, about 5% of your portfolio. I was over like in Tesla. I was definitely over 5%. My Tesla yield shares are just about 6% of my portfolio right now. And then it was kind of, so I was kind of like over 10% in, I was over 10% in all total kind of exposure to Tesla. So I just sold it, so essentially cut it in half. So, and so you sold 35 to get it back down to 5. Yeah. I thought about kind of selling some, but then I thought, you know what, I'm just going to take, I'm up. It's good. I'm happy. I mean, Tesla had that big run for the basically 12, 13, 14 days almost. And back up again today, I guess, looking at it, but it's, I don't, I have to get better at taking some money, and it was the opportunity. My portfolio is obviously, everybody knows how it's doing. It's almost in the green, so I'm kind of thinking, okay, I might as well kind of lock some of this in. So that was the reason. That was the reason for it. So, and then I basically essentially put most of it into XEQT. So that was a cool one. The G4, yeah, that was the Cube. That was expensive at the time, but that was a neat computer. I knew someone that had that. It was a nice looking computer. They definitely did a very good stuff with designers and that kind of stuff at the time. Even still, I mean, the computers are great. They're so simple, but so like they're really advanced, but they're like super sleek and just simple. I mean, there's nothing like getting a computer, literally plugging it in, and it's ready to go. You know, that's one thing. Yeah, the Mac Pro, the cylinder didn't really work out, did it, at the time? That was I think really overpriced, and it didn't. I guess it didn't work. They were building that one, I think, in America as well. I think that was part of it, but it just never that one never took off for whatever reason. Probably the price at the time. Their pro stuff is like really pricey, but it's comparable, I think, to other pro type products that you're trying to buy. I don't know. I don't. I'm not. I mean, I'm nerdy, but I'm not like right into it to know. You know, and I don't need them, so I don't need that type of power. So it's yeah. I did a long time ago. Long time ago. Yeah, it was good. It was good. It was good. I think it's on. I think it's on one of the streaming services too. I think it's on Prime, actually. One of those ones. I think I've got. I think I'm just gonna go through and see if I missed anybody's comments. I think I got everybody. I think I got everybody. Because we're coming up to the end here, coming up to about 1:45. So thanks everybody for tuning in. As few people, the Scott MC and Candace show. It's always good. Candace, we'll have to have you on the live stream maybe one morning. That would be kind of good. We can maybe talk about we can do some polls for our community or something like that to see what they would like us to talk about. So that would be always good, because I know we've said in the past, get back on together, or I'll come over to yours. One of the ones we can always set that up again, because that was fun to do. If you have time. I know you're busy with. I know you're not day trading now, but you're busy with pumping out those videos, which is awesome. I don't have the time to do all that, and it's been well, it's good. It's good. It's busy with work. I'm not complaining, but it takes away the fun time, because my other channel has been suffering as well. I just haven't had time. There's not enough time in the days, so. But anyways, there we go. I'm rambling as we go here. So coming up at the end, thanks everybody for tuning in. If you're watching on the way out, don't forget, hit the like button, subscribe, all that good YouTube stuff. It's always appreciated. Hopefully hopefully your portfolios are doing good today. Hopefully we have a decent Friday, and maybe this will carry on next week. It seems to be like we're in a bull market. I think we officially are now. So that's nice to see. It's nice to see things up. It's nice to see, it's nice to see the fruits of our labor. It's the fruits of our labor that are starting to kind of pay off, and see those things in green finally, which is nice to see. So any Sunday you want to come on, let me know. Okay, I will figure that out. I will definitely I'll shoot you an email, and we'll set that up. That'd be fun. We'll give you some notice and do that. Always be fun. And I won't eat hot sauce, but just put that out there on camera. Anyways, thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great weekend, and happy investing. I'm using a new camera here. I got to figure out how to end this thing because I'm using a different